get started. Okay, call meeting to order.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, prayer.
Okay. God, thank you we're so grateful for Seneca County, great weather. We ask you to look over this meeting and guide us as we make our decisions. Amen.
Okay, roll call.
Commissioner Frankert,
Here.
Commissioner Busdecker,
Here.
Commissioner Paradiso,
Here.
Okay. I will accept a motion to approve the digital audio video recordings of the previous board session from Tuesday, May 26, 2026.
Make the motion. Second that.
Okay, roll call.
Commissioner Paradiso,
Yes.
Commissioner Busdecker,
Yes.
Commissioner Frankert.
Yes. All right. So, whoops.
Jump into
Oh, Sandy. Morning. Hi, Sandy. How are you?
I'm well, thanks. Beautiful drive down.
Yeah, you bet. You bet. So are you here to give us a little presentation?
I am.
Okay.
I
Well,
am.
we'll go ahead and, are you ready? You need a few minutes?
No, I'm ready.
Okay.
Okay.
You walked in the right time then,
All
so
right.
good.
Okay.
Good, welcome.
Welcome.
Well,
So we have
skip-
Sandy Spang with Lake Erie Regional Council.
Yeah, we still sometimes say Teamacog too, so
Okay, that's what
no
you're calling it.
judgment on
Yeah,
that.
right.
Big transition, although I will say that it's been really well received. And so, I mean, it was member-led and it's really made a difference to, I think, identify our region and unify our region in a better way. So we're excited about that.
And maybe if you want, take a minute or two, just talk about what is Teamacog?
Sure.
Lake Erie?
Yeah, you know, we have a visual that we use, we call the onion because it has so many layers and there's so many different things that we do. And each of them has a different geographic footprint, which just complicates it even more. But the biggest footprint is the Council of Governments. And that is the part when people actually join the Council of Governments. And that, we really do anything there that is helpful to our members. We did a strategic plan when I came, believe it or not, it's been 3 years now. We did a strategic plan and the number one thing people wanted help with was funding. So we started our bi-weekly newsletter, Money Talks, and it's not one of these endless lists of grants that are out there. It's actually just a couple, 3 different opportunities, who's eligible, and then it doesn't say look it up and read this endless notice of funding. It says call us, and we try to help work people with that through with people. Our grants coordinator has visited over 35 communities now to find out what their funding needs are, keeping spreadsheets, and we're finding funding that people don't expect. Like North Baltimore just got a grant from Fireside Subs for fire equipment. And that was only available if you were near Fireside Subs and only for fire equipment. So we're really trying to help our governments in any way we can. We do advocacy. Obviously, there's been a lot around the property tax issue. We've done a lot of work with our members on that. Ethics training, anything our members need. House Bill 96 with cybersecurity and IT. So that's the Council of Governments. We do a lot of different things there. But we're also the Metropolitan Planning Organization for transportation, for Lucas Wood and a little bit of Monroe County. We are the area-wide water authority for wastewater. And we have a group of all the communities that have MS4 permits through the Ohio EPA for their stormwater. We help them meet all their educational requirements more affordably together. And so we do that. We do general planning for water quality. And most recently, we added economic development. And Seneca County participated in the Comprehensive Economic Development Strategy, which is Lucas Wood, Ottawa, and Sandusky and Seneca. And I do want to give you an update because you know the whole point is to try to become an economic development district, which will open up EDA funding for our region more broadly. you may remember that I gave you some stats. The 400 EDDs, Economic Development Districts in the country, there's half the population lives in one, half lives out. They get 71% of the EDA grants and 79% of the construction grants. And Northwest Ohio has really been falling behind. We also are exploring a lot of the opportunities through USDA Rural. And we found out, we've met with the folks at the federal level, the state level, and then the regional office in Findlay. And Northwest Ohio is not bringing in a lot of the USDA rural funding, and that's housing. It can be facility upgrades for governments. It can be water facility upgrades. There's so much that's available through USDA Rural, and we haven't been utilizing it. So we're always trying to help find more funding through our economic development new department that we have. But what I'm coming to you for today is to talk to you about an opportunity that we were presented with. We are sometimes, because of our status as a regional council, or it can be our status as an MPO, any of those things I just described, makes us eligible to be the applicant for grants when other entities can't be, and certainly often when the private sector can't be. And I'll give you a good example. We were the applicant for the build grant that Metro Parks Toledo kicked off the $300 million Riverwalk that's been underway. It's transforming both sides of the riverfront. The Metro Parks were not an eligible applicant. We were. So we worked with them to get that first $26 million, which really jump-started it, and then the voters said, okay, you've got the seed money, we'll add on money, and now that's a reality, that's a funded reality. So this isn't something that's unusual for us over the years. You know, we were formed in 1968, and over the years, we've done this many times. But we're very thoughtful about it, because our rule is, we participate if our members benefit, or the communities that we are serving benefit. If not, we don't serve as applicant. And so that is the opportunity that we are kind of bringing before you today to get your opinion on. The application would be for a CRISI grant. This is a rail safety grant through the Federal Rail Administration. There's been a lot of anticipation, when will the next round? There hasn't been a CRISI grant for a while, so people have been anticipating it. And we knew that when I visited Department of Transportation, they said, a few months ago, they said it's coming and it's going to be a really short window. So the applications are due third week of June. So there have to be safety improvements in one of these grants. This is one of it is the top consideration of Transportation Secretary Duffy is safety. He's also championing rural transportation and improving the speed to market on getting projects done, removing some of the regulations. So we know safety, Safe Streets for All grants, these safety things are the things that they're prioritizing. And that's true in the Federal Rail Administration too, which is under his purview. So this grant is for safety improvements. So we were approached by Wind Waste because they want to make some changes, some improvements. Now, I have learned from them they would make these improvements with or without the grant. So you're not really opining on whether they make these improvements because they're going to make them. What they propose to do is to, where their spur is, near I think 108, they're going to extend that to the north so that they can build a new processing facility and would be much safer for the employees, more up-to-date, OSHA requirements, that sort of thing, better ventilation. It'll have 3 bays instead of the current 2, but they're moving that to the north end. So they need that extra rail, which would be on their property, and that does give them more rail, some more rail storage. So when they approached about it, we said, well, we're only willing to do this if there are benefits for the community. And at that point, we started having conversations about how we could make this something where the community wins. A lot of conversations later, here's what we have arrived at. First of all, an absolute commitment in writing that they will remove the old building. You don't want, I know this from experience, you do not want an old building left down. And it costs money to demo, but you don't want that. That's an eyesore that will just continue to deteriorate. So an absolute commitment that they tear the old building down. The next thing is, we know that there has been a lot of degradation of your rail crossings. And so they've agreed, again in writing, to repair the rail crossing at 108, and this was not on their radar, 18, which I know is really gonna have more significance because we did a lot of traffic counts on this. Our team came up and toured, went through Fostoria, saw where the rail cars are backed up, went over, looked at the wind waste facility, really drove around, experienced some of the rail crossings. I will tell you, there's new material, and your engineer's probably familiar. They can put that composite material between the rails that holds up a heck of a lot better than just filling it with asphalt. And that would really, I think, give you more long-term benefit from the repairs. So those repairs and fencing, similar to what's often along a lot of the expressways, along Pine Street, where people are the closest to the rail cars that remain parked. The other thing, and landscaping, a landscaping package, because that way it softens their impact. The look that they have from their backyards is softened by the landscaping. Wind Waste has committed to spend $350,000 on these improvements if they don't receive the grant. If they apply and don't receive it, they guarantee that they will spend up to $350,000 making these described improvements.
Hey, Mark.
I got one,
Mark, in my office,
Yeah.
water, right on the left side. Thank you.
That was me a couple of weeks
Making
ago.
sure.
Yeah. Summer allergies.
They would have to apply and not get it.
We would apply.
You would apply.
The deal is that we would apply,
Yeah.
and if they don't get it,
There you go.
they guarantee up to $350,000 towards those improvements.
Okay, I'm following.
If they apply and are awarded the grant, which then they would pay the match on, they would not put an upper limit on those repairs. It's just as needed, to the degree as needed. 18 and the fence aren't included in the grant anyways. Those are extra benefits that we've been able to secure. I think 108 would probably have needed some reworking with what they want to do in the grant, which is, I think, probably part of the reason they're willing to go to a higher level. But whether or not they receive the grant, they commit to the community that they will make up to $350,000 to commit to fulfill those three projects, 108, 18, and fencing and landscaping for Pine Street. So those are, we felt those were very real improvements. We also recognize that there will be improvement for those people who work there to have the newer building, and visually to get rid of that eyesore of the old building. Additionally, the grant included the addition of 30 additional parking spots for rail cars. We pushed them to double that number because we feel that the more rail cars that are on their property and not lined up on CSX line, the better. We can't guarantee that there aren't going to be, because for one thing, CSX does run other customers there rather than just the wind waste customers. But that's really what I want to bring before you today, is if you feel that the community benefits are sufficient, that we should proceed. And that's the only thing I'm really asking you to consider is those things. I will tell you that I have pressed them on their plans to the degree that I could, and their current license or permit allows for 9,500 tons a day. They're averaging about they go up to about 8,000 on their busiest days right now. And they have assured me that they are not doing this. They verbally assured me, I do not have this in writing, this is their verbal assurance, is that this is not intended to increase capacity, but that they want to move to a more efficient, less costly 2 shifts a day rather than the 3. Right now, they're running a 24-hour operation. Third shift's always the most expensive shift, and they'd like to move to 2 shifts and process the same amount. I pressed them on whether they intended to increase at this point. Of course, this is a Federal Rail Administration transportation grant. This isn't really a part. This is not they're not asking for a grant to expand, they're asking for a grant to improve safety and improve their operations. So it would be the Ohio EPA who would make any decisions on, and frankly, they said they can apply now if they don't, they claim they don't, they're not interested in expansion at this point. That would involve getting more customers, you know, just raising their capacity to bring things in. And they said right now their goal is really to improve the safety for their employees in a newer building, improve efficiency, and be able to remove that 3rd shift. That's what their goals are. It's their main motivation at this time. So I think that, you know, I think that it is an improvement to add the extra 60 cars being stored on their property. I think that gives hope that maybe there would be less cars waiting through Fostoria. I think you've got the 2 crossing improvements, and you've got the opportunity for some real improvement, I think, for the folks on Pine in their homes, and you know, hopefully it will shield some sound, will definitely be a visual shield, and you'd even hope that if some of the wind would be stopped, that would carry some of the odors they've experienced. So I think there's some real community benefits, but again, we don't go forward unless you feel that the community benefits are something that you want to see happen, and that would be our main motivation. So that's what I come to you for today, is for you to opine on that opportunity to have those improvements made. Again, whether or not they achieve the grant, and it will be competitive. It will be competitive. So I'm happy to answer any other questions to the degree that I can. I think I've shared all the information with you that we have. I do want you to know a little bit about what our role would be. As the applicant, we would be the administrators of the grant, meaning we're sort of the overseers. We make sure that reports are filed on time, financials are filed on time, and that everything that's been agreed to be done in the engagement agreement, the community benefits agreement, that all of that happens. I've asked for quarterly stakeholder meetings, which I think is very important, that you are kept up to date on what is happening, and including also the City of Fostoria, the Health Department, anybody who's interested in being in those stakeholder meetings. We did receive a letter of support from Mayor Mennel of Fostoria, supporting the project, the community benefits, what will be happening for the community. So that is where we're at today. I am afraid that time with this is becoming more and more a thing, is that everybody waits and waits and waits for these notice of funding to come out, and then it's not hurry up and wait, it's wait and hurry up.
Yeah.
And so that's the way, it's like you get 4 weeks, maybe 6 weeks if you're lucky, and we're up against now, it's June 2nd, we've got about 20 days to be able to do this. We're providing data, which you know we have a lot of data. That's one of the #1 things we provide for our members when they do grant applications. We can make maps for them, bar graphs, you name it, we can do data. And so we brought a lot of data to our most recent meeting with Wynn, and talked about, you know, where we thought the problems were. I think especially making the case for 18. Like I say, that's not a part of the scope of the grant, but that 18 really needs attention. So.
extension here.
Yeah, so first, thanks. I mean, a great presentation. Glad you guys are part of the Chrissy grant. You know, as far as the county engineers department goes, my recommendation would be fully support the project and the grant, especially because it does hit, as Sandy said, safety, safety, safety. And while a lot of grants and applications may touch on safety, this one's really hitting safety. With the added benefit of some economic development for the community as well as aesthetics for the city of Fostoria. So there's no real downside, in my opinion, to supporting the grant. I know there may be some community sentiment that no matter what happens at the landfill, it's not good, no matter what happens with the railroad, but this is kind of separate from those types of issues. And I think what the COG is talking about and what Sandy is talking about is strictly bringing benefits to Seneca County and our residents. So from our perspective, we would recommend supporting.
Yeah, so I think you did a great job of highlighting the benefits to the community. First of all, thanks for coming down.
Absolutely.
And, thinking of us, because I talked to you yesterday and, you know, Sandy was like, we're not gonna do this grant, I'm not gonna go through all this work if you guys don't want us to. So I really appreciate you coming down and explaining to us, but I'm speaking on my behalf. Yeah, you outlined a lot of benefits to Seneca County and the community. And so from us, are you asking for a blessing or approval to move forward?
To move forward as the applicant,
As the
in light of the community benefits that it brings. That's really all I'm asking.
Really what you're asking.
Yeah, it's really all I'm asking.
And then you would apply, and if, after you apply, if it's awarded, great. If it's not awarded, then these things.
We have it in writing, 350,000 is committed to the improvements.
Back to
So you will get the improvements no matter the outcome.
But it could be more.
If they get the grant, they're willing to raise, to say it as needed. So that would be an opportunity to increase.
I'll let you guys talk, but I'm inclined, I like it, so, next. You guys talk.
Go ahead, Brett.
Yeah.
I mean, I've driven across some of those train crossings and stuff there. I mean, safety is a big concern out there. There's no doubt about it. I mean, I've driven into Fostoria over there. There are people that have homes along the tracks. The idea of giving a little more privacy away from that's beneficial. There seems to be a lot of this that seems on the right path to me.
And I'll follow up too. Mark and I have been on email chain for a year now, trying to get, and that you always have I always say there's 3 acts. You have the act of God, the act of Congress, and the act of the railroad. And sometimes the railroad is.
That is so true.
Yeah, they kind of, we've emailed, we've had Congress, so that's at the end of the day, and 18 is horrible. I mean, at the end of the day, you get, you know, we all think bright sunshine day's good, but what about a midnight, a EMS, a fire? You know, that aspect bouncing across that is very concerning. And if the crossings are blocked and stuff on it, and yeah, that's kind of a, you know, to me, it's a, yeah, kind of a huge safety aspect of it also.
Yeah, I think that those are the compelling features, are the improvements. We know that you have other crossings that also could need attention, and we've been kind of looking at some of the ODOT and ORDC grants. If you can demonstrate that you have a business that's using those crossings that's expanding, because they're very much based on job creation, we may be able to help find some funding for some of the other crossings that have been really heavily impacted. And so I need your guidance to know what businesses might be using those crossings regularly, and if they're planning any expansion. Even a few jobs, you just have to show some job creation. But we've been researching some opportunities. One of the ideas we had is if we could come forward with some come-along money, that maybe we could get more crossings done, right? That was some of the thinking there. Because we know that in any of our rail communities, and you know, there are quite a few of them throughout our region, this is our strength, right? Is that we have this amazing transportation network. But you've got to keep it up, and the wear and tear, and especially when you have, if you've got, you know, they say that an 18-wheeler is equal to 6,000 cars, if you've got large trucks going over these, they're just adding to that, you know, to that degradation. And then the rail itself creates so many points of contact that degrade. So I think we really would hope that maybe we can find some additional funding that might be able to address some of the other crossings that are needy as well. So we'll work on that.
Are you asking for a verbal? Do you want something in writing?
If you felt comfortable with a resolution supporting the community benefits with an application from Lake Erie West, that would be great. If you can do that for me, that would be.
What do you think, Mr. President?
Yeah, if we put a motion together, do you wanna do that? We can just do a resolution.
Yeah, so I would make a motion, help me out on this, to support the safety grant application.
And the community benefits
And the community
that,
benefits.
that accompany it
That accompany it.
That's of Lake Erie West
Lake
Regional
Erie
Council.
West.
That would be plenty,
And that's exactly what this talks about.
yes.
You're explaining the benefits, you're the applicant.
Mhm.
I appreciate you driving down, explaining it, and asking our support. Did you get that?
I need,
We can go back and,
yeah, if you wanna repeat it again, I can.
can you help me on this?
Sure. I think
Sandy.
supporting the Lake Erie West application to the Federal Rail Administration Chrissy grant and the safety improvements and community benefits that will accompany it. Does that sound good to you all?
Mark, you have anything to add? You
Nope.
like that?
Short and sweet.
I think it's
Okay.
exactly, okay, so I have a motion.
Second.
Okay, roll call.
Commissioner Paradiso,
Yes.
Commissioner Bustecker,
Yes.
Commissioner Frankert.
Yes.
Thank you for your
We'll get
confidence
this.
in us. If you can send that over to me, yep, sign that and send it over to me. And I will tell you, I think, Engineer Zimmerman, you know this can take a while.
Sure.
Um,
Hurry up and wait.
We-
Now we're at the hurry up and wait side of it.
Yeah, now it is.
Was waiting, hurry up, now we're at hurry up and wait.
Maybe a follow-up
So, yeah.
question is, if it's gonna be, I mean, everybody's committed on this, whether the 50 grand or not, at least County Road 18, can we get them to work on that?
I think that's a great question. I think that's something that, they've already started conversations with CSX because you have to have the rails participation in these repairs and are getting a favorable response because, of course, CSX sees the benefit of the safety improvements as well for the rail piece. Where you usually get a fair, I don't think it'll be a long time before we know if the grant's gonna happen. It could be a long time before we got the grant agreement. We're waiting on a Safe Streets for All grant agreement that we were awarded the grant, gosh, better part of a year ago, and now we're waiting for the grant agreement. I would think that as soon as they know that they've got the grant, that some of those improvements could definitely start happening, but your point is very well taken. 18 and even Pine Street
Right.
are not included in the
Right,
grant,
they
so.
agree that whether they get that
yeah.
or not, so I would say if you could reach out and just
The-
maybe
Yeah,
encourage.
and the only reason we'd want to wait is if we find that we want to hope for more dollars, if it doesn't seem like it. And that number was really based on reality of what they sort of estimated those repairs would cost, and I think they're ample. But I think what we want to do is start pricing that out and see if there's any reason to wait until we know the grant is coming, because we need more dollars for that. Yeah, so that would be the only reason. Otherwise, I'd say the sooner the better on 18.
At least price it out.
At least, yeah, start that process.
Yeah, I mean, 18 is more cut and dried, because you know exactly what 18 needs. So it's more cut and dried. And so I would think that we could say, let's get that done. And it is going to be the most impactful intersection, or rail crossing. So I will push to try to get 18, maybe get started sooner. And you can start having the benefit immediately, because they are committed to that. So, I'll keep the communication coming and let you know each step of the way, copy you as well. And we'll work hard to get the very best benefits for the community that we can. So, thanks for your time
Very
today.
good. Thank you very much.
Thanks again.
Yeah.
And-
You guys need me for anything else?
Nope, see you.
Let-
See you.
let-
guys.
Take care.
Report.
Mark,
See you.
thanks for
Thank
coming
you.
in.
Yeah,
Yep.
thank you. Yeah.
Take care.
See ya.
Thank you.
Safe travels back, Sandy.
Thank you.
Don't go over that crossing on the way
Yeah,
back.
I'll take it easy. I'll take it very easy.
Go around it, yeah. That was kind of nice.
Yeah.
Sit down.
Okay, well, we'll move into commissioner reports. Good, Brett?
Okay. Let's see, last week, went over for the Regional Growth Partners meeting. Talking about a lot of activity in our region. I did get to miss the part because I came back for another meeting, but Bryce was on a panel that spoke about a lot of the activities going on, such as the Toledo Mold and Die, and how they're trying to help some things in our region that, you know, things are coming and going, and if they can figure out a way to keep it coming in, it balances itself out to some degree. And went to Seneca County Collaborative Luncheon, where Commissioner Frankert spoke, did a good job.
Standing ovation.
Yeah.
Yeah, when they got done, he said, yeah, get out of here.
Then next day, I went and had a proclamation for Jobs and Family Services. Shelley Snyder is retiring. We had an IT meeting with the city of Tiffin and Fostoria with everything that we've done with the joint IT with Jared Conslow and the Profinix system that we all use. This is the first time we got a chance to get together in the last 6 months to talk about how everything is going, air out some things to try to help clean everything up and get better at what we're doing. I think it went pretty well. Matt's the first time Matt was in it, and I think it turned out pretty good. Cleaning things up, finding problems, and moving on. Let's see, what else do I have? We'll just end there. How's that?
Good. Busy, yeah, thank you. So we had an insurance committee meeting. That was involved, we actually had a couple meetings with them. And we should be getting our numbers in the next few weeks. I thought the meeting went pretty well, Matt. It doesn't
yeah.
seem real super scary, you know, as far as our renewal goes. It's going to go up, but we're not anticipating anything too crazy like it's been the last couple of years. We hope, but we really won't know for a few more weeks, right? We also, Matt and I had a call with the architect to talk about the EMS building, the scope of that project. We're narrowing that down. What you say, Matt? I guess we have a proposal for Matt to look at and then bring it to us. The next step would be to peruse the proposal, get all questions answered, and then Matt, I think the next step would be to the commissioners to approve the architect, and then the process would start. We have to appropriate the money, pay the architect, and then we would begin the process of the next EMS building over in the Green Springs area. You agree with that?
Yeah.
I think we're on track there. We went out, had a pretty nice meeting at Eat with John, the DMA, and I think, Matt, we learned a few things that's going on. That went great. Last night I went over to Bettsville. Scott Harrison invited me over. They had a meeting, it's a follow-up to the road closure. They're implementing that agreement with the residents. There's over 100 and some residents that are going to benefit by this agreement. And basically they're getting their basements, they're getting their houses inspected, baseline. There's a website, there's seismic, there's all kinds of stuff going on. That was a good meeting. We also talked with some of the landowners. I mentioned at the Engineer Zimmerman about the road, 71, I think it is, Bill, going down, and we can improve communication with them. That's proceeding, but and I used the Clyde, the city of Clyde example, where here's 34. Clyde had an easement, they ran the water line, but nobody talked to any of the people, because they didn't think they needed to. It's a county road, they're in the easement, we're gonna put it in, and then he started getting the calls. And that's kind of what's happening here, you know, there's the road, they're staying in the easement, surveyors are out there, they're gonna start construction in July, and all the homeowners are going, hey, what's going on? Great questions. I thought it went good. So Mark's gonna meet with them and make sure the field tiles and everything's taken care of. So it's just follow up, good communication with our voters. So that was last night. I thought it went pretty good. That's all I have right now. Thank you.
Very good. Just to follow up, I think,
Yeah.
because we're projecting next year for the new EMS building, but I was
Yeah.
thinking that we might wanna get, because there's no access to that property, so we might wanna work to get the tile in there first.
Yeah.
Because we have to need to mow it or spray it or something in there, so that might be
So we
something.
could phase it, so,
Could probably need to get with Mark, and you also probably need to get an address, I don't know if you've done that yet or.
we're trying to, the architects pretty much, we need to get this resolved.
Yep.
We do have some, nothing we can't handle,
Right.
but there's some drainage things there. The water drains the opposite way it needs to. So, nothing we can't handle, but the architect pointed out some good things, don't you think, Matt? So I think once we engage them, and then he makes a good point, maybe there's something we could do this year, you know, with the site work and the drainage and the tile, curb cut, get the address and then bed it out. Maybe we do a couple steps like that, because site work is separate, really.
Yeah, it's kind of there, but just, because I think
General
we did that
contract.
separate anyway, up there on 224 is when we put that tile.
We
in.
did,
So,
and we messed that up, and we were reminded of that with the architect, so we kind of drug them in, and they ended up losing money on that job, because they oversaw the site work, and you agreed with him, I mean, he made good points, how it all, so, I think, good point,
Yeah,
but we
just-
gotta do the architect.
Oh, yeah,
And this is
sure.
our third round with them, so we're really dotting the i's as far as, process, I think. And I'm good with it, I think they did a nice job with the proposal, we just got to comb through it and let Matt. And by the way, so the public knows, Administrator Matt has a construction background, which is a nice benefit. And for those that don't know, he's also a bricklayer.
A long time ago.
Right,
He can
right.
lay wire, he can pull wire, he builds houses, so it's nice having him, talking to architects and talking to maintenance, you know, it really helps, so, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, now wrap up commissioners' report. So as Brent alluded to last Wednesday, they had the legislative luncheon that the collaborative put on, nice attendance and, yeah, right. So, yeah, we enjoyed kind of giving an update from the county perspective on it. And kind of working through our emails and, you know, stuff with the solid waste district and a lot of different stuff going on with that. Had board of revision this morning, and then followed up with the budget commission on it, so.
How was budget commission, we're on track?
Yeah, actually, that's what, yeah, Julie, we're staying right, yeah, we're not,
Okay.
yeah.
We're not way up, or we're not
No, just
dipping
staying
either?
consistent right now.
Staying right there.
Yeah, right there.
About in
Okay.
the middle, yeah,
Yeah.
sales
Okay.
tax.
So, actually, the president of Mohawk School Board was there because, as we all know, they're talking about readjusting things and they're wanting to kind of, you know, be engaged so that nobody's surprised. And Julie made a comment, I think she's gonna start working, once they get the information from, you know, the legislature, and kind of work on a spreadsheet or something for all the entities to kind of figure out how things are gonna look for them and stuff with it, so she's gonna
Mhm.
work on that aspect of it, so.
Because there have been changes, right?
Yeah, there's some
Implemented,
change.
voted in, and,
Yeah, there's some changes,
So-
and they haven't, and that's what, and that from the treasurer's office, they haven't physically received them
Okay.
yet. They're hoping maybe
I see.
this week or next week, so that way they know how to adjust for the invoice and for the property tax.
For next year.
Yep, for actually this.
this payout
This
in
payout,
August?
yeah, 'cause that's what,
Really?
if you remember, they was telling everybody just pay the first 6 months. 'cause
That's
what
right,
the
okay,
adjustment
yeah.
In July, so that's what, yeah, so that's kind of see how
Yeah.
that shakes out and stuff with it, so.
That'd be for this year.
Yeah.
All right, good, that's good to know.
Yep.
I didn't go to the meeting. Okay.
All right, we'll move into county administrator report.
Yeah, we have the general fund revenue for the month of May. That was $1,802,836.26. The general fund expenses for the month of May is $1,790,456.58. So a small gain there. And currently, the general fund is projected to have a year-end balance of $1,664,000, but this should rise by the year end. As far as had several meetings throughout the last week, Ed and I met with Josh Strait from Bascom Communications to discuss the porting of the remaining phone numbers from AT&T to Bascom Communications. Josh from Bascom said he hopes to have this done by the second week of July, so he's working on that. As Tony mentioned, we had a health insurance advisory board meeting last Wednesday. The health insurance fund is currently trending well. It's trending a little better than what was expected. So right now it looks like it's going to finish higher than the 320,000 target rate for 2026. In that meeting was discussed there's currently 293 county employees on health insurance, and we will receive the rates for 2027 a month earlier than previously, so that's something new they implemented, which is beneficial to get more time to digest and analyze that. As Brent mentioned, we had an IT meeting that was involving the law enforcement agencies using the Pro Phoenix software. Collaboration between the Seneca County Sheriff, Tiffin PD, and Fostoria PD, trying to sort out the responsibilities belonging to RCR and what responsibilities belong to Jared. And the general consensus was everyone's very pleased with Jared's efforts and contributions since he was hired by the county. As far as me personally, it's my start of my third week. Transition's been going well. I've been able to meet several department heads. EMS operations director Nick Summers was even nice enough to give me a ride in one of the ambulances the other day. I was lucky enough to be in the passenger
That's
seat.
just what I'm gonna ask you, the front or the back?
We were trying to pinpoint the cause of a vibration that the squad is troubled with. So.
Now you're a mechanic besides.
Well, I gave him some recommendations on a couple of good mechanics that I know, like as far as very experienced and somebody to help troubleshoot.
Yeah.
So that's some of the things, and naturally I was involved with some of these other meetings that the commissioners talked about. So very busy, but things are going well.
There's a couple things with what you said. You talked about the POTS lines. We had Parallel looking at that stuff too. I don't know how much you were involved. Just need to make sure that you and Ed communicate with Parallel that you're going in a different direction.
Yeah.
Because they were looking at that. Ed and I had conversation. Ed said he'd do that, but you guys are kind of taking that, which is good for me. But I just want to make sure that there's no sore feelings with anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And then the only other thing I was gonna say about what you're talking about with the IT stuff, I'll give RCR a lot of credit. They've been doing a lot of location and discovery in the past year. That was a big part of our discussion, and there's some stuff that we didn't even know where it was that they have found, which is very important and helpful where we are right now. So, that's it.
Yeah, good work, just stay on it, stay with it.
Right.
We got momentum, it's good, we're making progress.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, any old business?
Yeah,
Okay,
thanks.
move right into new business, supplemental appropriations.
We have a couple supplemental appropriations. The first one's from the general fund 0010. It's a transfer for contract services for $100,000. This is for the JFS Children's Services Fund. Second supplemental appropriation is the Crum Ditch Project Fund. That's fund number 1064, and it's an advance out for $20,167.36. This is a repayment to the general fund.
Gonna make a motion,
One second.
approve supplemental, just a
couple comments. So, we budgeted for Job and Family Services, 400 or 500,000.
It was 5.
Five, thank you. The director came in, there was a deficit. When she came in, she was probably 500 short, starting the year kind of thing. This is for Matt and all of us, okay? So, it's absolutely the right thing to do. The commissioners are,
Obligated.
we're obligated to fund it, and the way we're doing it is $100,000 a
Yeah.
month. Okay, so this is, we're now into month 6, you know.
I don't know we've had
I don't know.
6 months. I think we
We might
might
be
have been
February.
4.
Yeah,
We'll
we might have
check.
not started it till February.
Yeah, I
or
think that's what
something.
it was.
So this is for all of us, public plus Matt.
Yeah.
So it's going, so what we didn't want is, you know, she has to do a job out there with her department, and we're obligated, so we wanted to take the burden off so she didn't have to come in here and beg for money kind of thing. I'm exaggerating, but she knows we're supporting her. Definitely good communication, we're getting reports, right, Brent? You feel
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you
best
guys
we can.
a little more on
Yeah, if
some
you
of that
would,
too.
yeah.
I will.
Go ahead, yeah, go ahead.
So we intended on going, Lauren and I and Jen Schumacher were all gonna go to see a facility that was down in southern Ohio, trying to look at, see what other options can we do for placement costs. And that event fell through. The management of that location has had a turnover. I think this whole thing in the state of Ohio, it's a problem in every county with placement costs. We have some very high dollar kids. We love them all, but there's some very high expenses for a small number of kids that is really making these numbers bad. And hard to control, and it's not just here, it's throughout the state, it's in all 88 counties.
So we have the situation, we're working real hard to get ahead of it, to minimize it, it'd be great to reverse the trend, but I'm anticipating for the balance of 2026, this kind of money. Okay, so just so you're aware, we're all aware, financially, we're pretty good, but we're going to be $500,000, $600,000, $700,000 more in expense for Job and Family Services out of the general fund for 2026, if everything stays the same between now and then. And I think we just have to kind of assume it is, but that's something to keep an eye on and plan for with our cash flow. I'm not overly concerned, but I just I don't want to get overly concerned, you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of a thing we just need to keep an eye on. So, I'll just roll that in there with this resolution for my comments, but I anticipate this will come up in July and August, right, Brad? There's no
Yeah.
end in sight for this to slow down at this point.
Well,
No, I think she's done a little bit of slowing down, I mean.
Well,
She has
coming
made
and
some
going, there
progress,
has,
yeah.
there has been some progress.
But not with the 100, Bill, I mean,
No,
you know.
Right,
like
right,
the
with the
trend.
100, right.
Yeah, your point, yeah, so I agree, and I'm glad you said it, because I don't want to sound negative, or I don't want to say they're not doing the job, they're doing a tremendous job. I'm making just a financial statement, that's all this is about, it's just the money, so Matt, who's our new administrator, sees this, you can start to get in your head how this happened, okay?
And there's more or less, there's been
Some
deregulation.
things, yeah.
Is what's happened, is you have all these placement locations. They have different rates for different people.
Independent.
And, you know, we can get a very high charge, somebody else might get a higher charge or a lesser charge. And you add those up through a year, it's not going away. We've talked in multiple other counties and what they're trying to do. I think Lauren and Jen are working pretty hard on it. There's some other counties close to us that are doing some things right now. But I think we're probably, I'm gonna say we're waiting, we're trying to see how that's working for them, to see if that's something we could implement, because you don't wanna, spend $3 million.
Well, there's things, there's.
Is an
Things are
answer, and it's
happening.
not an answer.
Right.
So, I don't know what that dollar is, I just made that number up.
Yeah. Okay, so thanks, that concludes my comments.
Mhm.
Back to you.
Okay, roll call.
Commissioner Paradiso?
Yes.
Commissioner Bustacker?
Yes.
Commissioner Frankert?
Yes. Okay, resolution time.
Yeah, we have, excuse me, a resolution authorizing fund transfers to be made to the Children's Services Fund. So this is from the Public Assist to the JFS Children's Services Fund for $100,000, which is what we just were discussing.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, roll call.
Commissioner Paradiso?
Yes.
Commissioner Bustacker?
Yes.
Commissioner Frankert?
Yes.
Next resolution's authorizing a fund advance repayment from the Crum Ditch Project Fund to the general fund. This is essentially the repayment from the Crum Ditch Project Fund to the general fund for $20,167.36.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Commissioner Paradiso?
Yes.
Commissioner Bustacker?
Yes.
Commissioner Frankert?
Yes.
Next resolution is establishing the Drug-Free Communities Grant Fund on behalf of the Mental Health and Recovery Services. This here, there was funding awarded to Huron County, their MHRS board, due to the merger with the MHRSB board. They're requesting a new fund. This will be to administer these grant funds after the merger is official on July 1st, 2026.
Make a motion.
Second.
Okay, roll call.
Commissioner Paradiso?
Yes.
Commissioner Bustacker?
Yes.
Commissioner Frankert?
Yes.
The next resolutions authorizing the Seneca County Board of Commissioners to enter in an agreement/contract with BKH Incorporated, doing business as a master in Sylvania Driving School for Drivers Education Services on behalf of the Seneca County Department of Job and Family Services. This was reviewed by the prosecutor's office, that the contract was, and it runs from July 1st, 2026 to June 30th, 2027.
Okay. Make the motion.
Second.
Roll call.
Commissioner Paradiso?
Yes.
Commissioner Bustacker?
Yes.
Commissioner Frankert?
Yes.
The next resolution is amending Resolution 26-106. This is authorizing a refund to landowners within the Berlekamp Wagner Tile Main B Group number 12-260. And this is amendment from the resolution that's passed last week because the previous one did not have the landowners listed, legal landowners listed as it's available on the Seneca County Auditor's website.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Commissioner Paradiso?
Yes.
Commissioner Bustacker?
Yes.
Commissioner Frankert?
Yes.
And that's it for the resolution.
Was one more follow-up from Budget Commission this morning. I think Julie said that August 17th, they're wanting to have kind of the budgets in and
Mhm.
stuff on that. She's gonna be sending a notice out, so.
Yeah,
just,
yep.
that coming up fast already.
Get ready, Matt. Budget season's around the corner.
Okay. Any public comment? Any other new business?
Shirley, Tom?
Okay, very good. Meeting adjourned.